It was found in a shed among a jumble of old steel tools and hardware, saw sets, chain links, door hooks, all showing their age. This one stood out, a solid cast iron handle with a strange beak-like tip and flared wings that almost look decorative. The back has a ring for hanging, and the name Guelph is cast right into the metal, likely tying it to the Ontario town where it was made. It measures around 6 or 7 inches long, heavy for its size, clearly built for work, but with an odd shape that doesn't quite fit anything familiar. The tip ends in a small nub that looks like it might pry, lift, or twist something. But what exactly it was designed for remains unclear. What kind of tool do you think this might have been? This is a stove lid lifter, a tool used during the era of cast iron stoves when the round lids on top could be removed for adding fuel or adjusting heat. The lifter's hooked or pronged end fit into a slot on the lid, allowing it to be lifted safely without touching the hot metal. These were common household tools in the 19th and early 20th centuries when wood or coal stoves served as both cooktops and heaters. It was found in an old box of tools dating back to the 1920s or 1940s. The piece measures about 7 inches long and features 2 parallel threaded rods, each ending in a fine, pointed tip like a sharpened pencil. The metal shows the soft gray patina of age with threads that look carefully machined rather than hand-cut. It seems built for precision, not force, perhaps something meant to align, gauge, or adjust rather than to cut or strike. What could this have been used for? This is a homemade tap wrench, a hand tool crafted to hold and turn taps used for cutting threads inside holes. Its simple construction suggests it was made by someone who needed a functional tool quickly, likely from spare metal parts or workshop materials. Though improvised, it serves the same purpose as commercial versions, providing the leverage needed to cut clean, even threads. Homemade tools like this reflect the ingenuity of machinists and hobbyists who valued practicality and resourcefulness in their work. It was found in an old toolbox that once belonged to a grandfather, possibly of Soviet origin. The handle looks ordinary, shaped much like that of a screwdriver, but the business end is anything but simple. The metal shaft ends in a bent tip with a clean central cut, and 2 small rotating nuts sit near the end, likely meant for tightening or adjustment. The wear marks suggest it was used often, yet its purpose isn't immediately clear. Part screwdriver, part clamp, part something else entirely. The combination of a split tip and adjustable tension hints at a tool made for gripping or aligning something delicate. What could this curious implement have been used for? This is a coping saw, a type of hand saw used for fine, curved, or intricate cuts in wood, plastic, or thin metal. The frame would normally hold a narrow, U-shaped blade under tension, adjusted by the knurled screw to keep it taut while cutting. Even missing its blade holder, the design is instantly recognizable by its simple mechanism and precision function. Coping saws have been popular among woodworkers and craftsmen since the mid-19th century, valued for their control and versatility in detailed work like joinery and decorative cutting. It was a heavy steel ratcheting wrench-looking tool, about a foot long, with no markings except the faint initials of a past owner. One end had a box head insert that only ratcheted clockwise, while the other ended in a threaded point that could be unscrewed to reveal a small hole, maybe for a chuck or a bit. The whole thing felt solid, mechanical, built for torque. Given the era of the other tools it was found with, it could have been some sort of early driver or specialized wrench, perhaps used in machining or automotive repair. The single-direction ratchet and removable pointed end make it seem like a purpose-built tool for a very specific trade. What kind of work do you think it was designed for? This is a ratchet drill, a heavy hand tool sometimes called a keystone drill, that uses a weighted or manually depressed beam to drive a pointed spike and rotate a bit for enlarging or reaming large holes in steel or masonry. The beam registers in a divot so the spike bears down with concentrated force, while the user turns the body to cut or score the hole, a method that shines when a mag drill or powered arbor is not available on site. It demands steady two-handed work and a fair amount of force, but does a job few other hand tools can, which is why tradespeople still keep one for stubborn, oversized holes. These drills became common on job sites in the 20th century as a practical, portable solution before small, portable powered drills were widespread, and their straightforward mechanical design has changed little, because when you need one, nothing else will do. It was an old, finely made hand tool with a distinct, almost sculptural shape, the kind of thing that feels overbuilt for its size. The handle fit neatly in the palm, and the metal end was shaped for delicate control rather than brute force. You'd find a similar one in the H.O. Studley tool chest, that legendary 19th century piano maker's cabinet filled with perfectly fitted tools. No one's entirely sure what this particular one was for, but it likely served a precise purpose. Maybe trimming or fitting piano veneers, shaping fine inlay work, or adjusting tiny metal components deep within an instrument. Tools like this were often handmade or modified for a craftsman's exact needs. What do you think it was meant to do? This is a Cleco clamp, a temporary fastener used in sheet metal work to hold pieces together before permanent riveting or welding. It works by inserting through pre-drilled holes and expanding on the far side to grip both sheets tightly, keeping them perfectly aligned during assembly. Clecos are especially common in aircraft and automotive fabrication, where precision fitting is critical. The design was developed in the early 20th century for the aviation industry and remains virtually unchanged, a simple and reliable solution for holding panels together with accuracy and speed. It was a small, heavy block of metal, solid, square, and strangely magnetic at its base. The kind of thing that doesn't immediately give away its purpose, even when you turn it over in your hands. A short, threaded rod rose from the top, capped by a locking nut, while a knurled knob turned just enough to feel like it once controlled something inside. The faint click of the mechanism hinted at precision work, maybe once part of a machinist's setup. It might have been a magnetic base from early indicator tools or a fixture meant to hold something steady on a lathe or drill press. Pieces like this often started life in workshops where accuracy mattered down to a hair's width. Any idea what it could have been used for? This is a magnetic stand used with machine tools like lathes and milling machines to hold precision instruments such as dial indicators in a stable position. The magnetic base can be engaged or released with a simple switch, allowing it to lock firmly onto a metal surface or be repositioned as needed. The adjustable rod provides fine positioning for accurate measurement or alignment during machining. It was found hanging for years in the shed of an old tool collector from Newfoundland. Heavy iron, dark with age, built to last. The two curved arms looked like blades at first glance, but they weren't sharp at all. On the other end, 2 rows of short metal spikes gave it a menacing look, though it was clearly meant for gripping or holding, not cutting. It might have been used somewhere between the fishery and the farm, maybe for handling hides. The kind of tool made for a specific trade, long forgotten but built strong enough to outlive the memory of what it once did. What could this old Newfoundland tool have been used for? This is a webbing stretcher, a hand tool used in upholstery to pull and tighten webbing across chair seats or backs before it is tacked or stapled in place. The toothed end grips the webbing firmly, while the handle provides leverage to stretch it evenly for proper tension and support. It's an essential tool for furniture makers and restorers who rely on tightly woven webbing to form a durable base for cushioning. Webbing stretchers have been used since the 19th century, evolving from simple wooden designs to more durable metal versions as upholstery techniques advanced. It was found in a box of old kitchen tools that once belonged to a relative long gone. Small, smooth, and hand-sized, the piece looked wooden but had a surprising heaviness to it, like it might be turned from dense hardwood or even cast resin over metal. both ends tapered to dull points, the surface worn smooth from years of use. It might have been something used for food prep, perhaps shaping butter, candy, or dough, or even a handle from a long-lost kitchen gadget. Whatever it was, it clearly saw plenty of use before being tucked away for good. What could this little kitchen mystery have been? This is a whetstone, a traditional sharpening stone used to hone and maintain the edges of knives, chisels, and other cutting tools. It is typically soaked in water before use, which helps carry away metal filings and keeps the edge cool during sharpening. Whetstones have been used for centuries across many cultures, prized for their ability to produce a keen, precise edge.